In these problems, we are finding the areas of some rectangles. And finding the area of a rectangle is a multiplication problem. The area equals the length of the rectangle times the width. So in this case, it would be 27 times 8. And that's a little bit harder of a problem. How would you figure out 27 times 8? Well, if you had a calculator and you were allowed to use it, you could go ahead and just punch it into the calculator. There are a couple of other ways to do it. The traditional way would be to line it up like this with the bigger number on top and the smaller number on the bottom, and then start multiplying the ones by the one. So 8 times 7. And so you'd have to know 8 times 7 is 56. And then this part, the ones part, goes down here. The 6, the 5 gets carried up here. And then we move on to multiply the 8 by the tens column. So 8 times 2, and that's 16. And then you add what you carried. So 16 plus 5 would be 21. And there's nothing else to carry to, so we write the whole 21 down there, and we get 216. When we give the answer, though, we want to make sure we use the correct units. And with area, it's always units squared. So we multiply the 27 and the 8, but we also multiply the yards times the yards to give us square yards or yards squared. So the answer here is 216 yards squared. Another way to figure out this multiplication problem, though, let's just practice this, because I think these methods, when we can be a little clever with the multiplication, might be helpful to you. And if you practice them enough, you'll get pretty fast doing them in your head. I'm going to just think of this as actually 30 up here. So I'm going to say it's 30 times 8. And then we have to do something else, because we multiplied 3 more times 8. So we have to actually subtract that 3 off, right? I added a 3 up here. So we're going to subtract 8 times 3 and see if that's any faster. 30 times 8, I can do pretty quickly in my head, because 3 times 8 is 24, and I just add a 0 on. So that's 240. And then 8 times 3, I know that one, that's 24. And let's see, 40 minus 24, that would be 16. So this is 216. So yep, we came up with the same answer we did before. Maybe this method is faster for you. I don't know. Give it a try, see what you think. Let's try one more of these right now. So here we've got 16 meters times 8 meters, and we're using this length times width to find the area. So we can do 16 times 8, whatever that is. And in this case, you could line it up and go ahead and multiply the traditional way and carry. I think I'm going to do something. I'm going to pretend this is 10 here. So we're going to have 16 times 10. And then what I've done is I raise this up 2, so I've got to subtract 2 times 16. So 16 times 10 is easy. Just add the 0 on there, you get 160. And 2 times 16 is 32. So 60 minus 32, let's see, 60 minus 30 would be 130. 2 less than that would be 128. So this is 128. And that should be our answer. The units would be meters squared, or square meters. Let's just quickly check by doing this the traditional way. 16 times 8 should come out to be 128 if we did that right. So 8 times 6, that's 48. Oops, 48. The 8 goes down here, the 4 gets carried. And 8 times 1 is 8, plus 4 is 12, 128. So there we go. So that's a little bit of work with finding the areas of rectangles.